Hey everybody, welcome to Bodiakian Wellness. Today we're talking planks for structural stability. Now before we get into action, make sure hit that subscribe button. So we all know when it comes to posture, it's all about your shoulder girdle and your pelvic girdle and how those two align to basically counteract gravity pushing you down. We can't be forward, we can't be back, the pelvis can't be tipped forward, can't be tipped back. And so one of the most important exercises that you can do is, of course, the plank. And there are lots of varieties of these. Now, I have a 5 plank progression program that I've used for many decades with both clients and patients. And it's a really great way you can go from a beginner who can barely hold a modified plank right up to an advanced athlete. I'm gonna be posting the entire workout progression. It's a 10-week program. I'll be posting it underneath this video so that you can go right from someone starting out who may be in poor shape, who has a bad back, right up to athletes who maybe want to use this at the beginning of their workout. But we're going to go through the 5 different kinds of planks that we're going to be using. And once again, each one is a progression to the next. So you're not going to, if you can't do the first one, you're not going to move on to the second and third until you can actually do the first one properly. So first exercise is your basic stationary plank. So the way we're going to start this, you're going to come down to your mat. Elbows are directly beneath your shoulders. You're going to clasp your hands, tuck your toes underneath. Now, if you're a real beginner, you may need to do this from your knees, which means you're going to place your weight on your knees. You're going to tuck your pelvis under. So you don't want your back arched. You got to tuck your pelvis under, pull your belly button into your spine, and this is where you're going to hold your first plank. We want to make sure you're not pushing the bum back or you're not sitting the hips down. So we just lift the hips, tuck the pelvis under, suck the belly in, and this is your first position, which you're going to slowly work up to being able to hold this for 1 minute. You don't need to be holding it longer than a minute. You might only be starting with 15 seconds, but you'll slowly work up. Once you can hold this guy for a minute, then we're going to be working up to our first plank, which is our modified plank. Once again, pelvis tucks under, abs are tight. We pull the belly button into the spine, and this is your first plank. Nice and easy hold. Make sure you're not sitting back. Make sure you're not sitting forward. Nice even position, head in a neutral position. So that's number 1. Our first plank, and like I said, this is going to slowly build up to the 4 subsequent planks that are coming next. So once you have some stability to the overall body, now we're going to look to the 2 different girdles. And the first girdle we're going to look at is the shoulder girdle. And this is where people have a lot of problems because of, especially with COVID, we are sitting over the desk, crouching or slouching over our computer. So this is going to help to isolate the mid-fiber trap and rhomboid, the middle back muscles that are going to help pull your shoulders back and keep tension off your neck and head. Okay, so this one is a tough one. Looks simple, but actually is quite a challenge. So we're going to have our feet width of the mat. Once again, we start in that exact same position. Tuck the pelvis under, suck the belly in. Now, what you're going to do, keeping your head straight, you're going to drop your chest, not your chin. Drop your chest down till your shoulder blades come together, and then push away as far as you can. Drop down, shoulder blades together, push away as far as you can. And this is called a piston plank because you're moving up and down like a piston. Nice and slowly. Gonna move with your breath. You're gonna breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. So this would be our second one, and this is, once again, really going to strengthen the shoulder girdle and make sure you have enough structural stability and mobility through the shoulder so that you actually recruit the right muscles. So many of us right now, with all that's going on, are just not doing that. And I'm seeing so many people in my clinic with neck pain, shoulder pain, numbness in the fingers and hands, and it's all coming from this poor postural positioning and poor postural support. So that's number 2, is our piston plank. These are all to get my heart rate up. So number 3, we're gonna move to the lower body and we're gonna move to a rotation through the hips. So this is a hip rotating plank. And this one is tough, and that's why, once again, it's a progression. You wanna make sure your basic plank and then your piston plank, you're nice and solid, then you can hold each of those for a minute before you move on to the rotating plank. So this one, the hip rotating plank. So this one, you're gonna have the feet together. So same thing, the upper body's in the same position, clasp the hands, tuck the pelvis under. This time your feet are together. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna slowly lower your hip to the right, bring it back up, lower your hip to the left. You're gonna really feel this in your obliques. Works really hard on the lateral stabilizers in your hip, your TFL, gluteus medius, and of course your internal and external obliques. You're gonna rotate side to side nice and slowly. Gonna give you a lot of good strength and stability holding through that plank. Now this is a much more advanced plank. So you wanna make sure, like I said, that both your modified plank and your piston plank are nice and strong, and that you can hold both of those for a minute before you move to your hip rotation plank, which is our number 3. So moving on, we move back to the upper body, and now we're gonna move to a full rotating plank, which is gonna strengthen infraspinatus, teres minor, the rear rotator cuff muscles, in addition to mid-fiber trap and rhomboid, all the middle back guys, while we're still strengthening all the rest. And so what you're gonna see is that we slowly create tie-ins between the shoulder girdle and the pelvic girdle so everything stays strong. So if you're not doing anything else, you could literally spend 9 minutes a day, or at the advanced level, 5 minutes a day, a couple times a week, and keep the entire body strong. So let's move to your rotating plank. This time your feet are gonna be outside the mat, so feet are wide. Once again, we start in our same position, tuck the pelvis under, suck the belly in, and this time we're gonna rotate open, so at 90 degrees, not past the plane. Just open up the chest. Slowly rotate down, rotate open. Keep it at 90 degrees, don't extend. Slowly down, rotate open, slowly down, rotate open. You really wanna open up that chest. So you feel the stretch across the chest, so you're contracting the back. All the way down, rotate open, all the way down, rotate open. So as we move through, we get harder and harder with each successive plank, and we get more motion in the plank itself. So we started with our basic modified plank, then we moved to our piston plank, then our hip rotating plank, then our full rotating plank, and our last plank for number 5 is our Spiderman plank. Great one for strengthening the legs and strengthening the lats, because as we rotate, we get a lot of lat and lower trap activation. So we're going back to feet together for our last plank. So we start here. We're gonna turn to the left and pull the knee in and back out. Turn to the right, pull the knee in and back out. Simple rotation. Pull that knee in, simple rotation. Pull that knee in, keep the abs nice and tight. Breathe in as you move. I'm sweating already. Nice and relaxed. And pull. Now, when you get used to it, you could actually do all 5 of these planks in a row. You could do them as a circuit, and you're actually holding a 5-minute plank. So what you want to be doing is 1 minute for each. So we have 1 minute of modified plank, 1 minute of piston plank, 1 minute of hip rotation plank, 1 minute of full rotating plank, and 1 minute of Spiderman plank. And let me tell you, you put all 5 of these together in 5 minutes, it is a tough workout, but a great way to start your workout for advanced athletes or people who train on a very regular basis. But for those who don't, for those who have pain, for those who have problems and are just looking to start, this program is a great way to build up that strength. This is 10 weeks. So we literally start with just the first plank, the modified plank, and you're gonna be doing that 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for 2 weeks. And you'll slowly build up till you can do it for a minute. Now, maybe you can't even hold the modified plank. Maybe you need to do it with knees down. That would be your first 2 weeks. Then slowly move up. And you'll start with 15 seconds, moving up to 30 seconds to 45, up to a minute. And you're not gonna add the subsequent planks until you can hold that initial plank for a minute. Once you can do that, after 2 weeks, then we add in the next plank. So we do 1 minute hold of your modified plank, and then we start the piston plank for 15 seconds. And then over 2 weeks, we slowly build up that plank. And every 2 weeks, we're gonna add in, look at this, I'm sweating already. We're gonna add in a new plank up till 10 weeks when we've added in all 5 planks. A fantastic way to strengthen the entire body. If you're already doing stuff, great. But if you're not doing things, and this is the big problem, so many people out there aren't. And we are literally fraying under our own friction of gravity just pushing us down. Doesn't take long, no excuses to do it. Give it a try. Now, listen, if you know people who can benefit from this, share this video with your friends and your family. Help me to help other people. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Hey, bud. Did you do your planks? Did you do your planks? Did you do your planks? I'm a cat, I don't need to do planks. He's a star. Thanks for watching.